I believe we are in the midst of a multi-decade secretive arms race, one funded by misallocated taxpayer dollars and hidden from our elected representatives and oversight bodies.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the most spine-chilling unsolved events to occur in 2024.
And all of a sudden we just heard this big boom, and not too long after we started hearing police sirens and fire truck sirens kind of blazing through.
The Northvolt saga.
Some of the key features that have brought us here is obviously a very, very strong mission, a willingness among everybody in the company to make an impact. Be part of this transformation through delivering energy storage and batteries. The other piece is that sense of urgency.
With climate change becoming an increasingly pressing concern worldwide, you couldn't blame Sweden for its optimism regarding Northvolt. Founded in 2015 and commissioning its first manufacturing plant in 2021, the Swedish lithium-ion battery developer was hailed as a sign that, quote, Sweden was on its way to becoming a battery superpower, said Jönköping International Business School Associate Professor Christian Sandström.
The region's main challenge will be skill supply, to see that we have enough people with the right skills that can take on the jobs that are created in the factory or in Northvolt, but also in the surrounding society.
Tragically, the company was forced to file for bankruptcy following a series of mysterious deaths that plagued its Skellefteå plant. Over the first half of 2024, 3 Northvolt employees were inexplicably found dead at home. Swedish police have opened an investigation into the men's deaths, with some attributing them to lackluster workplace safety measures.
Coming to Skellefteå always and looking at the site always make me very humble. The sheer size of the factory, but also the fact that it's a hugely complex manufacturing process. I always think to myself, how do we really start this thing?
Another creepy monolith.
What a strange sight in Las Vegas.
What is that? Anything to do with the Vegas Raiders, but it doesn't. It's a mysterious and reflective monolith. It was spotted in a hiking trail over the weekend.
So what's the story?
There's been a bunch of these. So the police, actually, Vegas police posted those pictures. A volunteer search team went out to it in a remote area.
Aliens, a cheeky art project, something in between. That's what visitors to a giant unexplained 2001-esque monolith in Utah wondered in November 2020. Shortly thereafter, monoliths began popping up globally: Romania, Spain, Wales, and more. The monolith marauder struck again in June 2024, when a shiny new monolith was discovered near Gas Peak in the Desert National Wildlife Refuge that sits north of Las Vegas, Nevada.
These were popping up during COVID,
Weird.
if you remember, all over the world, actually.
Okay.
One was found on Fremont Street there, that one there.
That's very cool.
Which you would think there'd be cameras all over.
Yeah, of course.
And we would see this if it were some sort of art installation, somebody would have been caught.
The 6-foot-tall monolith, which was found to be made out of folded sheet metal, was dismantled by local police 4 days later. Despite the discoveries of nearly 250 monoliths worldwide as of the end of 2024, authorities and truth seekers alike are still no closer to uncovering the mystery of who's behind the installations.
A guy named Craig Muir found the same exact thing in Wales, literally in the middle of nowhere.
How interesting.
Craig Muir is a stonemason by trade, and he said when he examined it, it was surgical steel,
That's so
like the best craftsmanship you could imagine. So for those conspiracy theorists who think maybe this is aliens, they're very handy.
Stonehenge.
The death of Vladimir Shklarov.
Hello, my name is Vladimir Shklarov. I was born in Leningrad. Now it's St. Petersburg. It's a very famous and beautiful city. I like it very much.
Prior to his untimely end on November 16, 2024, Shklarov was acclaimed in his native Russia as part of the famed Mariinsky Ballet in St. Petersburg. This was in addition to having appeared in multiple productions with different companies across Europe in countries like Germany and the United Kingdom.
I study at the Russian Ballet Academy, and now I am principal dancer in Mariinsky Theater.
Tragically, the beloved ballet dancer died after falling from the balcony of his 5th-floor St. Petersburg apartment, aged only 39. While a Russian federal investigation ruled Shklarov's death accidental, critics of the Kremlin have suggested that it was retaliation for Shklarov's alleged anti-war stance. A 2022 Facebook post contained the following quote, attributed to Shklarov. Quote, I am against the war in Ukraine. I am for the people, for a peaceful sky above our heads.
My favorite ballet is Swan Lake, and every time when I come on a stage, I try to show my best. My favorite sport it's soccer, and best of all, I like Japanese sushi.
Hong Kong's oldest zoo loses over 10 monkeys. October 2024 found spookier and sadder stuff going on than just Halloween. In just 48 hours, the Hong Kong Zoological and Botanical Gardens was forced to partially close, as well as call for the help of experts in the field. As noted by the Associated Press, quote, "The deceased animals are the DeBraz's monkey, a common squirrel monkey, 4 white-faced sakis, and 3 cotton-top tamarins, the last of which has been named critically endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature." The zoo concluded that the first 11 monkeys died from coming in contact with contaminated soil, but could not at the time determine the cause of death for the remaining monkey, who died over that weekend. How the soil became contaminated in the first place remains unclear. The Fort Worth hotel explosion.
We're going to turn now to the breaking news from Texas at this hour. This explosion at a hotel in downtown Fort Worth. The windows blown out, debris spread across the streets. Reports of at least 11 people injured there, and they are searching at this hour, going from room to room inside that hotel. Authorities warning people to stay away from the area.
Thankfully, no one lost their lives in this suspected gas explosion that injured 21 people in downtown Fort Worth, Texas. On an otherwise ordinary afternoon in January 2024, the Sandman Hotel at 810 Houston Street had a hole blown all the way through into the street outside.
And all of a sudden, we just heard this big boom. And not too long after, we started hearing police sirens and fire truck sirens kind of blazing through.
2 hotel employees were hospitalized, instigating an OSHA investigation. However, the investigation never took place as planned. As noted in OSHA's case documentation, the officer assigned to the case, quote, "did not provide any notes, narrative, interviews, photos, or any information for this investigation." It appears that the case was simply dropped, which begs the question, what's going on at the Sandman Hotel?
We were getting reports that it had started in the restaurant. We do know that there was some construction that was being done down at the restaurant, but we're not 100% sure that that's where it actually started at this point in time.
The Pentagon UAP reports.
Let me be clear. UAP are real. Advanced technologies not made by our government or any other government are monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe. Furthermore, the U.S. is in possession of UAP technologies, as are some of our adversaries.
On November 13th, a hearing convened by the United States House Committee on Oversight and Accountability heard the testimonies of 4 men who warned of UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomena. Timothy Gallaudet, Luis Elizondo, Michael Gold, and Michael Schellenberger all attested that the U.S. government is perpetuating a wide-scale cover-up of information and sought greater transparency and disclosure from politicians on both sides of the aisle.
During this exercise, I received an email on Navy's secure network from the operations officer of U.S. Fleet Forces Command. The email is addressed to all the subordinate commanders, and the subject line read in all capital letters, "Urgent Safety of Flight Issue." The text of the email was brief but alarming, with words to the effect, "If any of you know what these are, tell me ASAP."
The kicker? If what the men testified to seeing is accurate, then we could be looking at groundbreaking evidence of extraterrestrial life. One has to wonder then how incoming President Donald Trump will tackle the subject upon his 2025 inauguration.
And since my reporting on this immaculate constellation last month, another source came forward who told me that they saw a roughly 13-minute long, high-definition, full-color video of a white orb UAP coming out of the ocean approximately 20 miles off the coast of Kuwait.
The Butler, Pennsylvania Donald Trump assassination attempt.
Oh, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And
Speaking of President-elect Trump, this near miss by 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks almost ended his 2024 presidential campaign and his life early. Crooks, a resident of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, drove an hour to nearby Butler in an attempt to end the 45th president's life. While he was obviously unsuccessful, losing his own life in the process, the creepiest part is that Crooks's motive remains unclear.
Based on the way he dressed, I mean, you know how kids are nowadays. If you don't fit in with the clique, they're going to come after you. And that's kind of like how he was. Like, he would sit by himself, play games on his computer.
Records of Crooks's political beliefs are scant and hard to find, and even the evidence that does exist is contradictory. However, experts in criminal behavior have very tentatively suggested that his actions were a way to carry out his goal of killing only Trump, and that Crooks was not planning a mass shooting.
let me get my shoes. I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes, sir.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. The truth about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein's friendship.
So how do you know this?
That was close to straight.
Chances are, if you're watching this video, you probably have some idea of the disgraced financier's crimes. For the uninitiated, Epstein was arrested for a second time in July 2019 on truly heinous trafficking charges. Just a month later, Epstein was found dead in his cell, raising ongoing alarm bells and skepticism as to the circumstances. Much has been made of the late Epstein's relationship with future U.S. President Donald Trump.
So you probably know he had a scalp reduction because he had the same male pattern movement that we all have. He had his scalp movement, which is terrible. Donald's office, as you know, he made that. He used to be on the phone as that fake PR person.
Although the president-elect has repeatedly disavowed Epstein, an October 2024 revelation by ex-model Stacey Williams has many questioning Trump's statements on the matter. Specifically, Williams claimed that in addition to being assaulted by Trump in Epstein's presence, the two were inseparable. As reported by ABC News, quote, flight logs released as evidence showed that Trump was listed as a passenger on Epstein's private jets at least 7 times in the 1990s.
I also found it funny. I was sitting there listening to the guys from the Post talk, and Donald would say, he's a great guy. I loved working with him. And I sit there going, this is just amazing. And he'd say, Michael, come on, let's go to the office. And he'd say, tell me, what's it like in there?
Which mystery creeped you out the most in 2024? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.